Hey folks, this is Matthew with Riverponics. This is going to be the outdoor setup. I think this is the third year I've used these grow channels in the steel frames outside. Cleaned them up. I'm going to show you the setup here. So the first thing you would have to do is set up your steel frames. The legs, these slotted legs are for your preferred adjustment, what height you want to set them at, and that kind of correlates with your return plumbing back to your reservoir there in the corner. Well, these here are 12-foot long grow channels. These are the shallow ones. They're only 2 inches in depth. Another set of them. Same thing, set up your frame. 12-foot long. Now the frames with this setup here, the frames, you want to make sure you level everything up. But when you do, well, I'll get to that in a minute. I'm not going to get too far ahead of myself. And then I have these 2 6-footers here. This is the plumbing. What's nice about this is you got your aisleways, right? Clear walkways, all your plumbing's on one side. That's what's really unique about this. So the water, this is your feed tube. The water comes down one side of the grow channel, open-ended, wraps around, and then it travels back down and drains out there. So what doesn't drain out there will actually wrap around and just form a close loop. So the water is always moving. It's always circulating. This tube pulls right out. And then there's the 2-inch drain going the whole distance running back. And I just have that, it just stubs right in there, so it's removable. So it makes it real nice and convenient. Real simple, real nice, easy setup. And that'll run back to the compost brewer there and the reservoir. It's not quite all hooked up yet, but giving you a general idea how this is set up. Just stubbed off here, it's stubbed off there. It's the end of the line. Of course, you could continue on if you wanted to, but this is all the room I have back here behind my garage. And this is only going to run on 40 watts too. I have an air pump and one submersible pump that's going to run this whole system. It's basically gravity fed out to each channel. All right, now I got my brewer all put together. Got the plumbing attached to the brewer. Got the 2-inch return attached to the reservoir. There's the air pump and the submersible pump. The submersible pump actually pumps the fluid back into the brewer, and then the fluid dispenses out of the brewer right here out to the grow system. The grow system brings the water back eventually, forming that closed loop. When you are outdoors with the air pump, this is normally, there's a tube right here I had to install. This is where the air is sucked in to the air pump, into the diaphragm in there, which then pushes the air out, obviously, and aerates your water. But this tube here, when you get torrential rains, if you don't have this tube there, it'll suck up water into your air pump and ruin it. So that's what that's there for. Other than that, everything's waterproof. So we're ready to come hot here and start filling this up with water. Alright, I got the plumbing attached to the brewer over there. I I ran a garden hose out here with the splitter. It's a quick connect fitting. Garden hose to a 1/4 inch tube. That tube runs over here to the reservoir. Right in there to a float. So it's a self-watering system here. So getting it filled up. There's the supply off the brewer. You see that? There's a valve there. And then there's the 2-inch return going back, forming that closed loop. All those black tubes will feed each grow channel. And the grow system will eventually return the water back through that 2-inch there into the reservoir, forming that closed loop. There's no glued fittings either, so if you want to do any type of gluing at all, I suggest using like silicone. That way these fittings come apart. Or you can glue too, but I choose not to glue. There's no pressure behind these pipes. Alright, the next step is getting your lids in place. These are removable. I'll go over that more here in a minute. But you want to be able to control the level of fluid in your grow channels. This is the deep water 4-inch grow channel. Here's the spacer I'm using. It's 3/4 inch pipe. It's about 2 1/4 there. We're draining down real quick. Put it in there. And you can kind of move this up and down. Gives you a little leeway. And then down here, just a smaller version. This one's only about 1 inch. These are the smaller channels, the 2 inches. These grow channels are more for your leafy green stuff, vegetable plants. And the deep water ones are your all-purpose, or your big tomato plants, cannabis, whatever. Plants with more vigorous root mass. Alright, the next step is getting your wicks in place with your containers. And what you want to use is cocoa core. This is a brick. This breaks apart. You add water to it. And you want to get it nice and fluffy. Stuff will expand. And then you take a 2-inch net cup. You pack that full. Okay. Here's a empty 2-inch net cup. And then you would put that down your hole. And that's your wick underneath. These are used containers. These last couple years. So that's how that works. So that is your self-watering wick then. And then after you put your 2-inch net cups in there in place with your cocoa core, then you can fill this container up with soil and drop your starter plant or seed in there. Alright, we have it just about wrapped up. Got a few more plants to put in over there. But got these all in. I'm going to do some hydroponic stuff and a little experimental lettuce and what have you here. Some soil and some hydroponic stuff right there. Just kind of show you the diversity you could do with this system. Got my 1/4 inch tube. Supplying the reservoir with water so I don't have to water this. Self-watering containers. Show you how the brewer works. Get out of the way. Down in there, you can see it or not. There's the submersible pump. That submersible pump, I know it's hard to see, everything blends together, is attached to that tube. Comes up to here. Compost brewer. And supplies this with fluid. Fills this up. Okay? Got a compost wand here. This is your overflow protection that controls the pump that's housed in the reservoir. It turns it on and off. It prevents the brewer from overflowing. On the back side, down below, you have your clean out. Pop that off to do all your cleaning when you want to drain this and clean out your brewer. This is your control valve. Now this control valve is your supply line out to your grow system. 3/4 inch pipe with the black tubes that feed each grow channel. That controls the amount of fluid that comes out of the brewer out to your grow system, but it also controls the level of fluid in your brewer too. So if I had this fully open like that, this brewer probably wouldn't fill up all the way because it would drain too fast through the filtering system. So I'll choke it off a little bit, and then that's what keeps the level up. And then from this fluid overflowing is when the overflow protection comes into play. Just a little float valve, it's like a light switch. Just turns on and off. Turns that pump on and off in your reservoir. So you have that. The cover back on. Conceals the water in the reservoir. Then the only other thing you have is your air pump. That aerates your water, keeps everything liquid, alive, fluent. Kind of like the workhorse. But this whole system, what you just seen, only runs on 40 watts. Less than a light bulb, standard light bulb. But I know a lot of people ask these questions, how this works, how that works, so I try to explain things as best as I can. But other than that, it's pretty simple. There's no glued fittings to the plumbing. These lids are removable. Cut them at different lengths. You need to get plants in here. You don't want sunlight penetrating into your water. You get algae growth, so you gotta cover that all up. You can see how you can do that.